All right, here we go. Time for another solo for Night of the Woods. Got a lot of things to do, a lot of things to talk about. So let's stop wasting time and get to it. This skillet right here is going to replace the previous one. That was a 6-inch skillet. This one here is 8 inches across. We have a 6 1/4 base, and we have an 1 3/4 side walls. We also have that classic removable handle. It's exact same size as the other one, so it's a one handle that fits all. So you can carry both pans with you into the woods, and one handle if you choose to. Best part is, it fits inside the Corporals Corner skillet bag, just like the others, along with a 6x12 grill and a full-size spatula. Boom! The skillet bag and the big boy skillet are available right now. There's 100 dropping to my website. That link is in my video description box. Jump on them because they're going to go fast. All we gotta do, bend it inside, and bend this one to the inside as well. This configuration gives me several options. I can leave it like it is, crawl underneath it, hang out for the night. I can prop up one corner, I can prop up two corners. I could lift the entire thing up like this and tie it to a tree, put a stake there, put a stake there. You know, it goes on and on and on. Pretty much, what are you trying to accomplish? It's a nice day, not a cloud in the sky. It's gonna be a cool evening. I might want some of that heat. So I want the fire over here, heat to go over here, smoke to vent. You know, so we might figure out some way to prop this thing up kind of like this, stake it out so I have more room, and we'll be in business. And if you're smart enough ahead of time, you actually tied a loop around the grommet prior to placing your pole inside there. And that gives you a nice loop that you can actually use to stake out your tarp. We have fire pit A and then pre-existing fire pit depression over there. So all I'm going to do here is take these coals and kick them down into that depression so there's no worry about it rolling towards me or blowing around. And then we'll simply clean that area out and make it safe. Like I said, this configuration gives you multiple options. I could suspend this thing kind of like an A-frame style. I could lift it all the way up in the front and do a lean-to configuration. We have one corner up, resembles a plow point. You could also have a bipod here that could be tied to a tree. I could tie both ends to two trees, and so on and so forth. Best part is it costs you around 15 bucks if you do it yourself. I've seen these poles and a tarp system like this go for between 60 and 90 bucks. Why pay that? That's effing stupid. Get the poles, a couple of those electrical caps, and do it yourself. On my website, corporalscorner.com, you'll see my Amazon store. That's my affiliate page. Click on that, and you'll see those poles right there. You're gonna have to cut them down to the size of your tarp or poncho. I have a video showing that. I think I filmed it last October or November, so it's been about a year. And we did it for 15 bucks, so check that out, corporalscorner.com. So part of today's overnighter is going to be making a bow drill. I haven't made one in a while. Got this piece of poplar. So on a poplar tree, aspens and cottonwoods are similar. You have all your outer layer of bark. This thing's pretty much dead. So I'm trying to strip all this bark off of here and use that for a bird's nest. I want to just strip all this off here. And it's actually so old, it should just peel off in pieces like that. And then we'll take it over here and process it and actually use this log here, or this stick, for a spindle, a bearing block, and ultimately our fireboard. Check that out. You want to expose all those fibers. So I just take it and put it in my hand like this, and I just go around in a circle, and then back and forth. You already see the powder coming off of that. And I'll show you real quick what we're going for. You're just exposing all those fibers that are in there. And so we're gonna just move down and do it again and again. And just keep doing that and getting it finer and finer and finer. And then we'll grab another handful and do it again and again and again until I get a gigantic ball of this. There we go. I got 3 handfuls. All I'm gonna do is just combine these. This is a rough processing. That's what I want for my outer shell. Just gonna place that into there and just move it on the inside to catch first. And then I want some coarse material so I have a longer burn time to ignite those sticks. So now I need a bearing block. Cut that thing right there. Slide the bowline over that Y branch right there, and then we can just do a half hitch here and then wrap the excess around the end of that bow, and we should be in business. And there we go. Now what I have right here is a 1/2 inch diameter copper air chamber. It was an 8-inch piece, cut off about 7 inches or so. Well, probably about 6 3/4. Leave about 1.25 inches or so, give or take. Piece of copper with a tapered end. It kind of resembles what a spindle looks like when you're done using it. So it got me thinking, why not take that piece, place it on the end of a spindle, then take a 1/2 inch copper cap, core out your bearing block, shove that inside there, marry them up, and now you have almost zero friction. Okay, so all it wants to do is it wants to bite on that cap. So let's take the cap out. And let's see if it will actually work with just that piece on the end there, that tapered air chamber. Yeah, that's nice. There's like zero friction on that. Go ahead and remove all the material right between those two lines there. Just like that. Now here's my takeaway on this. Using that cap will work. It's a 1/2 inch in height. So if there's a way to cut that thing to about 1/4 inch, perfect. If you don't want to screw around with that, just don't use it. Use that for a cap for your tube, and then store tinder inside there. You know, you can put probably char cloth in there, Vaseline, cotton balls, some type of waxed, those cotton pads, whatever. Stick them inside there, mini inferno, something. Even some smaller matches, that'd probably work. But using this as a spindle cap, there's almost zero friction or penetration into this dead piece of wood. Usually it'd be all blackened and smoke would bellow out the top. It'd be all like warped out. It's probably just the very tip of that tapered section with a small indentation in it, and that's it. Like I said, almost zero friction. So to me, if you're struggling with the bow drill and you need something for worst case conditions, you know, your absolute bottom of the barrel, last chance or death, you make a bow drill. And this will probably help you out a lot. So there's a cool tip and trick for you right there. Try it out. Once again, this is a 1/2 inch air chamber, and I got it at Lowe's. I'm sure Home Depot has them as well. So for those that have been following my channel, this is the Corporals Corner Kephart from Tony Powers or Rebel's Den blades. And that link will be in my video description box. I believe he has about 20 of these or 25 right now on the website. I would jump on them while you can because they're there probably about 4 to 6 hours and they're gone. Once again, the link to my logoed Corporals Corner Kephart will be in my video description box under Rebel's Den blades. Check it out, check out his website, and tell him I sent you. Mayonnaise. Huh. Not touching that. What we got here? Beverage-based powder. We have granola. Be a good breakfast one there. We got barbecue sauce. We have cheese spread with bacon. That's a new thing for me, and that's a plus. So we're gonna put that right there. Cheese spread with bacon. There's a piece of bacon right there. Wow, okay. Tastes like that canned squeezed cheese with bacon flavor. It's not bad, but it's not terribly good. But what I'm happy about is this bow drill spindle with this copper air chamber cap on here. And the reason why I'm happy about this is because it put a whole nother idea in my head. And I showed this on my Instagram page. But one thing I enjoy is like ancient history and technology that they had. We leave all the science fiction and alien stuff out of it. They had some pretty cool technology. I mean, 2,000 years ago, they had terracotta and lead piping and bringing cold and hot water in and wastewater out and, you know, sewage and all kinds of cool stuff. You go through Pompeii, I mean, it looks like a normal everyday city, except for it's, you know, back in time with, you know, bricks and blocks and concrete and things like that. But I mean, a gutter system, and, you know, they had even speed bumps in the middle of the road, so you couldn't just, you know, haul ass through there. You know, it is put together pretty well for that time. But one thing I'm fascinated by is the Egyptian core drilling. They drilled holes in granite, limestone, and there's been several people that tried to recreate that. And, you know, we have no idea exactly how it was done, so we can't say that those people are doing it wrong. everybody has a different way of doing stuff, and they presented it with the items they had at that time, and they had copper, and they could cast, you know, copper axes and chisels and things like that. So why not cast a copper tube, you know, to actually core drill? And, you know, it's kind of cool. They found the actual cores laying everywhere. It's the same as we roll up to a job site and core concrete, core through rebar, and make a hole and put piping through it. It's the same idea, you know, back then. But my point was, I created one of those with my own idea of how it could have been done. And at some point in the future, I want to go ahead and bring it out here and actually get a piece of granite and see if I can core through it. If I got to sit out there for like 2 days, I'm going to do that. And just actually do it and see if it's possible using bushcraft techniques that we use in our videos, and actually apply it to back in the day using a form of a bow drill. Not necessarily just a bow drill, but some form of that. I see the picture in my head and I want to go ahead and try it and see how long it would actually take me to do that. I got to figure out putting clay around it, creating a granite silica slurry, quartz slurry in there, add, you know, crushed granite, crushed quartz, crushed sand, get it down to like really fine powder and mix it up, make like a slurry, so that when I'm coring it, the slurry is actually cutting the rock, not the copper, and it saves the drill bit, you know, and that's what they had to have done back then. And then just go from there. But that's something in the future I could just do, and I'll probably post on my Instagram, but look forward to that. One thing I failed to mention, and I'll mention it right now, is we have those big boy skillets, and we're dropping 100 of those. That's going to be a given every single week. But I went through my inventory and I found, I want to say 20 to 30, somewhere in there, of the smaller ones. They're not built yet. There's the discs and the pieces are there for them. So when you go to my website and you purchase your big boy skillet, or check out the website for a hoodie or, you know, coffee or whatever you're looking for, glance over there and see if there's like, you know, 20 or 30 of those left. If you didn't get a chance to get one and you want one of the smaller ones, so you have a big one and a small one to complete that set, then grab it, because once those are gone, we're not going to make them again for probably like a year. We're going to focus on the big ones. I sold the small ones for a year. I'm going to sell the larger ones for a year. And then we'll find a happy medium in there somewhere in between. But again, if you're looking for one of the small ones, check the website out. Now make sure you read it, and it says big boy for the big boy, and it says hybrid skillet for the small one. If you just jump on it and go, well, I thought about the other one, there's nothing I can do about it, because once those are gone, they're gone. I'm not going to go purchase extra material and deliberately make another one. So I want to get rid of that inventory. So that's going to be on there along with the big boy skillets. So check those out. So real quick, I want to go ahead and say thank you to everyone who supported my business over the years. Like I said several times, after January 6th insurrection, most individuals lost 80 to 90% views and never recovered. So I was faced with a decision: end it, or take my knowledge of welding, fabricating, turn it into an actual business. I looked at what people are not doing. No YouTuber was making cookware on their own and mass producing it. So I figured out how to do it, and that gave birth to our pans. And we've been doing that ever since. So those that support my business, I appreciate it. We've had our ups and downs. Several individuals right out the gate tried to stop it from happening. And even after a year, we still got individuals that want to play games. And it's comical. We got the standard, you know, 7th grade mentality where, you know, we're going to try to deter and derail and shift focus and spotlight over to what we're doing to take away from what he's doing. And that's just comical. And it's kind of like, you'll get dealt with. And then you got a few that think they're on a prison yard. You know, I did military police work, worked at a brig, transported people from prisons to the brig, back and forth. You know, whether you're doing time there or you're working there, you're still doing time. But one thing everybody knows is, if you come out to the yard and you got messed up paperwork, but you're talking a big game, but again, you're the fool with the messed up paperwork, shit usually ends poorly for that individual. And I'll just leave it at that. No one's going to protect them. No one's going to help them. And they're by themselves. And, you know, usually the other ones have strength in numbers. It is what it is. Moral of the story: Don't come out to the yard talking a big game if you're the fool with messed up paperwork, because once you're exposed, you're exposed. That's about it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and call this because it'll be dark in about 30 minutes and I gotta get up at 2 a.m., pack up, get the fire all put out, get out of here, get back by 4 a.m., start editing so I can drop the video by 9:30 so I can go through all the checks and then go ahead and upload it so that it's done, and by 10 a.m. you have your video. So with all that in mind, you know, just one last thing, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but those that are playing games, I'm tired of playing games, you know. It is what it is. I'm over it, dude. And it's just monotonous. It's the same people. It's stupid at this point, you know. And those that want to play games, you can always choose wisely and decide to not play games, you know. Live your life. Those that got a second chance, live it to the fullest. Be successful, succeed. Make a mark for yourself, become something positive, do something for society, you know. There's always hope for those people, and, you know, you can always walk away. Is what it is. On that note, let's go ahead and get out of here. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in one place, my website, and that's located in my video description box. Now please do me that favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. As always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm gonna catch you next time.